Imagine having the power to change your financial life overnight. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, what if I told you that there's a simple meditation technique that could unlock rapid wealth for you? This isn't about complex money strategies or risky investments. It's about something much more powerful: your mind. Neville Goddard's meditation technique has been helping people transform their lives for decades, and today we're going to dive deep into how it can work for you. Here's the thing: if you don't change what's going on inside your head, your bank account won't change either. It's that simple. You might be thinking, but I've tried positive thinking before, and it didn't work. Well, Goddard's technique goes way beyond just thinking happy thoughts. It's about rewiring your entire belief system about money and wealth. And yes, this means facing some uncomfortable truths about what you really believe about yourself and your ability to be rich. But here's the exciting part. If you can master this technique, everything in your life can change. We're talking about the kind of transformation that turns average Joes into millionaires. Now you might be wondering, who is this Goddard guy and why should I listen to him? Let me tell you, Neville Goddard wasn't just another self-help guru. He was a spiritual teacher who lived in the early to mid-1900s, and his ideas were way ahead of his time. Goddard believed that our imagination is the key to creating our reality. He taught that if you could vividly imagine and feel a desired outcome as if it were already true, you could make it happen in real life. Goddard's main teaching was simple but powerful. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. In other words, if you want to be wealthy, you need to feel wealthy right now, even if your bank account says otherwise. This might sound a bit out there, but stick with me, because this is where things get really interesting. The reason Goddard's methods are so powerful is that they tap into something science is only now starting to understand: the incredible power of our subconscious mind. You see, your subconscious doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined. When you use Goddard's technique, you're essentially tricking your subconscious into believing you're already wealthy. And once your subconscious believes it, it starts working overtime to make that belief a reality. But here's the kicker. This isn't just about sitting around daydreaming about being rich. Goddard's technique is a specific, structured way of using your imagination that can lead to real-world results. And that's what we're going to explore in depth today. Think about it this way. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to attract money effortlessly? They always land the best jobs, or their businesses take off quickly, or they just seem to be in the right place at the right time for amazing opportunities. Well, according to Goddard, these people aren't just lucky. They've tapped into the power of their imagination to create their reality. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds great, but how does it actually work in real life? That's exactly what we're going to dive into next. I'm going to break down Goddard's technique step by step, show you how to apply it specifically to creating wealth, and even share some real-life success stories of people who have used this method to transform their financial lives. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, I want you to keep an open mind. Remember, some of the most successful people in history have used techniques like this to achieve their dreams. Walt Disney once said, "If you can dream it, you can do it." Well, Goddard's technique is all about learning how to dream in a way that turns those dreams into reality. So, are you ready to unlock the secret to rapid wealth? Are you ready to learn how to use your mind in a way that could completely transform your financial future? Great, because we're about to embark on a journey that could change everything for you. In the next section, we're going to break down the basics of Goddard's technique. You'll learn exactly how to do this powerful meditation, why it works so well for creating wealth, and how to avoid the common pitfalls that trip people up. We'll also explore how this technique fits into the bigger picture of manifesting abundance in your life. But first, let's talk about why so many people struggle with money despite their best efforts. You see, most of us have been programmed from a young age with certain beliefs about money. Maybe you were told that money doesn't grow on trees, or rich people are greedy. These beliefs get lodged in our subconscious and can sabotage our efforts to create wealth no matter how hard we work. Goddard's technique is like a reset button for these limiting beliefs. It allows you to reprogram your subconscious with new, empowering beliefs about wealth and abundance. And once your subconscious is on board, amazing things start to happen. You might start noticing opportunities you never saw before. You might find yourself having brilliant ideas for new businesses or investments. You might even find that people are suddenly more willing to help you or partner with you on projects. This is what Goddard called the law of assumption in action. When you truly assume the feeling of being wealthy, the universe seems to rearrange itself to match your assumption. Now, I want to be clear. This isn't about sitting back and waiting for money to fall from the sky. Goddard's technique is a powerful tool, but it works best when combined with inspired action. We'll talk more about this later, but for now, just know that this technique can give you the clarity, confidence, and motivation to take the kind of bold actions that lead to real wealth. So, are you excited to learn how to tap into this incredible power? Are you ready to start creating the kind of wealth you've always dreamed of? Great, because in the next section, we're going to dive deep into exactly how to do Goddard's meditation technique. We'll cover everything from how to prepare your mind and body, to how to visualize your desired wealth in vivid detail, to how to infuse your visualizations with the kind of emotion that makes them irresistible to your subconscious mind. You'll learn how to make your visualizations so real and so compelling that your mind can't help but believe they're true. But before we get into that, I want to address something important. You might be wondering, is this too good to be true? Can changing my thoughts really change my financial reality? It's a fair question, and the answer is both yes and no. Yes, changing your thoughts and beliefs can absolutely change your financial reality. But no, it's not always easy or instant. Like any powerful tool, Goddard's technique requires practice, patience, and persistence. It's not about waving a magic wand and suddenly becoming a millionaire overnight. Instead, think of it like planting a seed. When you plant a seed, you don't see results immediately. You have to water it, give it sunlight, and take care of it consistently. But if you do, that tiny seed can grow into a massive, fruit-bearing tree. Goddard's technique is like planting a seed of wealth in your mind. If you nurture it consistently, it can grow into a reality that's more abundant than you ever imagined. And here's the really exciting part. Once you master this technique for creating wealth, you can use it to transform any area of your life. Want a better relationship, a healthier body, a more fulfilling career? The same principles apply. That's why learning this technique is so valuable. It's not just about money, it's about learning how to consciously create the life of your dreams. So, are you ready to plant your seed of wealth? Are you ready to learn how to use your imagination in a way that could transform your financial future? Great, because in the next section, we're going to roll up our sleeves and get into the practical details of how to do. We'll start by creating the perfect environment for your meditation. You'll learn how to relax your body and quiet your mind in a way that makes you receptive to new ideas. Then, we'll dive into the visualization process itself. You'll learn how to create mental images that are so vivid and detailed that they feel real to your subconscious mind. But we won't stop there. We'll also explore how to infuse your visualizations with powerful emotions. You see, it's not enough to just picture yourself being wealthy. You need to feel wealthy. You need to experience the joy, the excitement, the sense of freedom and possibility that comes with true abundance. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. We'll also talk about how to deal with doubts and negative thoughts that might come up during your meditation. Because let's face it, if you're not used to thinking of yourself as wealthy, your mind might resist at first. But don't worry, I'll give you specific techniques for overcoming these mental blocks and staying focused on your vision of abundance. Then, we'll discuss how to carry the energy of your meditation into your daily life. Because remember, this isn't just about what you do during your meditation sessions. It's about how you think, feel, and act throughout your day. I'll show you how to maintain that feeling of wealth and abundance even when you're faced with bills, financial challenges, or setbacks. We'll also explore how to use Goddard's technique to guide your actions in the real world. Because while this is a powerful mental tool, it's not about just sitting around and thinking positive thoughts. It's about using your newly aligned mental state to take inspired action towards your financial goals. And finally, we'll talk about consistency and patience. Like any skill, Goddard's technique gets more powerful the more you practice it. I'll give you tips on how to make this a daily habit, how to stay motivated even when you don't see immediate results, and how to track your progress over time. By the end of this video, you'll have a complete understanding of how to use Goddard's meditation technique to unlock rapid wealth in your life. You'll have all the tools you need to start reprogramming your subconscious mind for abundance and success. But remember, knowledge is only power when it's applied. So as we go through this information, I want you to commit to actually trying this technique. Don't just listen passively. Really engage with the material. Try the visualizations as I describe them. Feel the emotions. Let yourself believe, even if just for a moment, that unlimited wealth is not only possible for you, but inevitable. Because here's the truth. You have more power to shape your financial reality than you've ever been taught. Your mind is an incredible tool for creating wealth, and Goddard's technique is the user manual you've been missing. So let's dive in and unlock the abundance that's waiting for you. Are you ready to transform your financial life? Are you ready to tap into the incredible power of your imagination? Great, because we're about to embark on a journey that could change everything for you. Let's get started with the basics of Goddard's technique and how it can unlock rapid wealth in your life. Now that we've laid the groundwork, let's dive into the heart of Neville Goddard's powerful meditation technique. At its core, this method is beautifully simple, yet profoundly effective. It's all about using your imagination in a specific way to create the wealth you desire. Here's the basic idea. Instead of wishing for wealth or worrying about your current financial situation, you're going to imagine that you already have the wealth you want. But this isn't just daydreaming. Goddard's technique involves using all your senses to create a vivid, realistic experience of being wealthy. Think about it this way. Have you ever had a really vivid dream? One where you woke up and it took you a moment to realize it wasn't real? That's the kind of vivid imagining we're aiming for here. You want to create an experience of wealth that feels so real, your subconscious mind can't tell the difference between your imagination and reality. But why does this work for creating wealth? Well, it all comes down to how our minds operate. You see, your subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between what's real and what's vividly imagined. When you consistently feed your subconscious the experience of being wealthy, it starts to accept this as your reality. And here's where the magic happens. Once your subconscious believes you're wealthy, it goes to work, making that belief a reality. It starts to notice opportunities you might have missed before. It gives you ideas for creating wealth. It even influences your behavior, making you act more like the wealthy person you've been imagining yourself to be. This is why Goddard's technique is so powerful for creating wealth. It's not just about positive thinking or setting goals. It's about reprogramming your entire subconscious to align with wealth and abundance. And when your subconscious is aligned with wealth, incredible things can start to happen in your external world. Now you might be wondering, but how does this actually work in practice? Don't worry, we're going to break it down step by step. But first, let's address some common questions and concerns that often come up when people first learn about this technique. One question I often hear is, isn't this just pretending? How can pretending to be rich actually make me rich? And it's a fair question. But here's the thing, you're not just pretending. You're creating a new reality in your mind, one that's so vivid and believable that your subconscious accepts it as true. And remember, your subconscious doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined. Another concern people often have is, but what about taking action? Don't I need to actually do something to become wealthy? And the answer is yes, absolutely. Goddard's technique isn't about sitting back and waiting for money to magically appear. It's about aligning your mind with wealth so that you naturally take the kind of inspired actions that lead to real-world results. In fact, one of the most powerful effects of this technique is how it changes your actions. When you truly feel wealthy on the inside, you start to act differently. You make different decisions. You spot opportunities you might have missed before. You have the confidence to take risks and pursue big goals. All of these actions can lead to real wealth creation in your life. So now that we understand the basics, let's move on to the practical steps of how to actually do this meditation technique. All right, now it's time to roll up our sleeves and get into the nitty-gritty of how to actually do Goddard's meditation technique. I'm going to walk you through this process step by step so you can start applying it to create wealth in your own life. The first thing you need to do is find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed. This could be a cozy corner of your bedroom, a peaceful spot in your backyard, or anywhere you feel relaxed and at ease. The key is to choose a place where you can fully focus on your meditation without distractions. Once you're in your quiet space, take a few moments to relax your body. Close your eyes and take several deep breaths. Feel the tension melting away from your muscles with each exhale. You might want to do a quick body scan, relaxing each part of your body from your toes up to the top of your head. The more relaxed your body is, the easier it will be for your mind to focus on the meditation. Now comes the fun part, visualizing your desired wealth. But remember, we're not just thinking about being wealthy. We're creating a vivid, multi-sensory experience of wealth. Start by imagining a scene that represents wealth to you. Maybe it's sitting in the office of your successful business, or lounging on the deck of your luxury yacht, or simply looking at a bank statement with lots of zeros. Whatever scene you choose, make it as detailed and realistic as possible. What do you see around you? What sounds can you hear? Are there any particular smells or tastes associated with this wealthy scenario? Can you feel the texture of your expensive clothes, or the smooth surface of your desk, or the warm sun on your skin? The more senses you can involve, the more real this experience will feel to your subconscious mind. Don't rush this part. Take your time to build a rich, detailed scene in your mind. This step is crucial, so pay close attention. It's not enough to just see yourself as wealthy. You need to feel wealthy. What emotions come up when you imagine having all this wealth? Do you feel excited, relieved, confident, grateful? Let yourself fully experience these positive emotions. Feel the joy of financial freedom. Experience the peace of mind that comes from knowing all your bills are paid and you have more than enough. Sense the excitement of being able to buy whatever you want, whenever you want. Really let yourself bask in these feelings of wealth and abundance. This is where Goddard's technique differs from simple visualization. Instead of seeing this wealth as something in the future, you need to feel as if it's already yours right now. This might feel strange at first, especially if your current financial reality is very different. But remember, we're reprogramming your subconscious mind here. Tell yourself, this is my reality now. I am wealthy. I am abundant. I am financially free. Say it with conviction. Feel the truth of these statements in your body. Let go of any doubts or disbelief. For the duration of this meditation, allow yourself to fully inhabit this wealthy version of yourself. Now, I know this might feel challenging, especially if you're not used to thinking of yourself as wealthy. You might hear a little voice in your head saying, "But this isn't true. I'm not really wealthy." That's okay. It's normal for doubts to come up. When they do, gently acknowledge them and then return your focus to your wealthy self. With practice, it will become easier to maintain this belief. Spend at least 10-15 minutes in this state of being your wealthy self. Really let it sink in. Let your subconscious marinate in this experience of wealth and abundance. When you're ready to end your meditation, slowly bring your awareness back to your physical surroundings. Open your eyes, take a deep breath, and carry that feeling of wealth and abundance with you as you go about your day. Now, here's an important point. This isn't a one-and-done kind of thing. To really see results, you need to do this meditation regularly. Ideally, you should do it every day, preferably in the morning before you start your day and at night before you go to sleep. These are times when your subconscious mind is most receptive to new ideas. Remember, we're reprogramming deeply held beliefs about money and wealth. This takes time and consistent effort. But the more you practice, the more natural it will feel to inhabit this wealthy version of yourself. As powerful as Goddard's technique is, there are some common pitfalls that can trip people up. Let's talk about these so you can avoid them and get the most out of your wealth meditation practice. The biggest obstacle most people face when trying this technique is their own disbelief. It's natural to have doubts, especially if you've struggled with money in the past. But remember, for this technique to work, you need to fully embrace the possibility of wealth, even if just for the duration of your meditation. If you find yourself thinking, "This is ridiculous, I can't be wealthy," or "This will never work for me," you're sabotaging your efforts before you even begin. Instead, approach your meditation with an open mind. Allow yourself to suspend disbelief and fully immerse yourself in the experience of wealth. Think of it like watching a movie. When you're engrossed in a good film, you temporarily forget that it's not real. You feel the emotions, you root for the characters, you get caught up in the story. That's the kind of immersion we're aiming for in your wealth meditation. Another common mistake is focusing on your current lack of money instead of your desired wealth. It's easy to fall into this trap, especially if you're dealing with financial stress in your daily life. But remember, the whole point of this technique is to shift your focus from lack to abundance. If you find your mind wandering to thoughts of bills, debts, or financial worries during your meditation, gently but firmly redirect your attention to your vision of wealth. Focus on the abundance you're creating, not the scarcity you're trying to leave behind. This doesn't mean you should ignore your current financial responsibilities. But during your meditation, Give yourself permission to fully embrace abundance without worrying about your current situation. Perhaps the most common mistake people make with Goddard's technique is giving up too soon. They try it for a few days, don't see immediate results, and conclude that it doesn't work. But remember, we're talking about rewiring deeply ingrained beliefs and thought patterns. This takes time. Think of it like going to the gym. You wouldn't expect to see dramatic changes in your physique after just a few workouts. Building physical strength and changing your body takes consistent effort over time. The same is true for building mental strength and changing your financial reality. Commit to practicing this technique daily for at least 30 days before you judge its effectiveness. Many people find that it takes several weeks of consistent practice before they start to notice changes in their mindset and their external circumstances. Even if you don't see immediate changes in your bank account, pay attention to more subtle shifts. Are you feeling more optimistic about money? Are you noticing opportunities you might have missed before? Are you making different decisions about money? These are all signs that the technique is working, even if the big financial breakthrough hasn't happened yet. Remember, wealth creation is a journey, not a destination. Every day that you practice this technique, you're laying the mental foundation for greater abundance in your life. Trust the process, stay consistent, and be patient with yourself. Now you might be wondering, does this really work? Have people actually created wealth using this technique? That's a great question, and it brings us to our next section, where we'll look at some real-life success stories of people who have used Goddard's technique to transform their financial lives. But before we get to that, I want to emphasize something important. While Goddard's technique can be incredibly powerful, it's not a magic bullet. It won't make money appear out of thin air or solve all your financial problems overnight. What it will do is shift your mindset, align your thoughts and emotions with wealth, and open you up to opportunities you might have missed before. Think of it as planting seeds of wealth in your mind. With consistent care and attention, these seeds can grow into a bountiful harvest. But like any garden, it takes time, patience, and nurturing to see results. So as we move forward, keep an open mind, stay committed to your practice, and be patient with the process. Remember, every wealthy person started somewhere, and many of them use techniques very similar to this to create their success. You have the same potential within you. Let's unlock it together. Now that we've covered the basics of Goddard's technique and how to apply it, let's look at some real-life examples of people who have used this method to transform their financial lives. These stories show the power of this technique when applied consistently and with belief. Take Sarah, for instance. She was a struggling freelance writer, barely making ends meet. After learning about Goddard's technique, she started visualizing herself as a successful, well-paid author. She imagined holding her best-selling book, seeing her name on the New York Times bestseller list, and feeling the joy of financial freedom. Within 6 months, she landed a major book deal that changed her life. Sarah credits her success to the shift in her mindset and the clarity of vision she gained through Goddard's technique. Then there's Mike, a small business owner who was on the brink of bankruptcy. He started using Goddard's meditation technique every day, visualizing his business thriving and his bank account growing. At first, nothing seemed to change, but he stuck with it. After a few weeks, he had an idea for a new product that turned his business around. Within a year, his company was more profitable than ever before. Mike says the meditation gave him the mental clarity and confidence to see opportunities he'd missed before. Another inspiring story is that of Lisa, a single mom working 2 jobs to make ends meet. She began using Goddard's technique, imagining herself in a high-paying job that allowed her to spend more time with her kids. She visualized her ideal work environment, the satisfaction of a job well done, and the security of a hefty savings account. 3 months into her daily practice, she was offered a promotion at work that doubled her salary. Lisa believes that the meditation helped her project confidence and capability, which her employers noticed. These stories all have something in common. The people involved didn't just sit back and wait for money to fall from the sky. They combined their visualization practice with inspired action. They were more confident, more open to opportunities, and more willing to take calculated risks. This is how Goddard's technique works in the real world, by changing your inner state, which then changes how you act in the outer world. Now let's talk about an essential aspect of making Goddard's technique work for you, combining it with action. While the meditation is powerful, it's not about sitting back and waiting for wealth to magically appear. It's about aligning your mind with wealth so that you naturally take actions that lead to real-world results. Think of it this way. The meditation is like planting seeds of wealth in your mind. But for those seeds to grow, you need to water them with action. When you consistently practice the technique, you'll likely find yourself feeling more motivated, confident, and inspired to take steps towards your financial goals. You might suddenly have an idea for a new business venture, or you might feel compelled to learn new skills that can increase your earning potential. Perhaps you'll find the courage to ask for a raise or negotiate better deals. These are all examples of inspired action, action that comes from your aligned mental state. The key is to stay open and alert to opportunities that come your way. When you're in the right mindset, you'll start noticing chances to create wealth that you might have overlooked before. And when these opportunities arise, take action. Don't let fear or doubt hold you back. Remember, massive action isn't always necessary. Sometimes small, consistent actions can lead to big results over time. Maybe it's setting aside a little more money for savings each month, or perhaps it's spending an hour each day learning about investing. Whatever it is, make sure your actions align with the wealthy version of yourself you've been visualizing. It's also important to find a balance between meditation and action. Don't use the meditation as an excuse to avoid taking real-world steps towards your goals. Similarly, don't get so caught up in doing that you neglect your visualization practice. The two work hand in hand to create real change in your financial life. As you start implementing Goddard's technique, it's natural to have some doubts and questions. Let's address some of the most common ones. Is this just positive thinking? While positive thinking is part of it, Goddard's technique goes much deeper. It's about reprogramming your subconscious mind and aligning your entire being with wealth. It's not just thinking about wealth, but experiencing it vividly in your imagination and emotions. How long does it take to see results? This varies from person to person. Some people report seeing changes in their circumstances within weeks, while for others it may take months. The key is consistency. Keep practicing daily and pay attention to even small shifts in your mindset and circumstances. What if it doesn't work for me? If you're not seeing results, first check if you're making any of the common mistakes we discussed earlier. Are you truly believing in the possibility of wealth during your meditations? Are you practicing consistently? Are you taking inspired action? If you're doing all these things and still not seeing results, try tweaking your visualization. Make it more vivid, involve more senses, or choose a different scene that represents wealth to you. Remember, creating wealth is a journey. It's not about overnight success, but about gradually shifting your mindset and actions to align with abundance. Trust the process, stay committed, and be patient with yourself. We've covered a lot of ground in this exploration of Neville Goddard's powerful meditation technique for unlocking rapid wealth. From understanding the basics of how it works, to learning the step-by-step process, to hearing real-life success stories, you now have all the tools you need to start applying this technique in your own life. Remember, the key to success with this method is consistency and belief. Make your wealth meditation a daily practice. Immerse yourself fully in the experience of being wealthy. Feel it, believe it, and then take inspired action in the real world. As you move forward on your wealth creation journey, keep in mind that this technique is not just about making money. It's about transforming your entire relationship with wealth and abundance. It's about becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts and creates prosperity. Don't be discouraged if you don't see immediate results. Like any powerful tool, this technique takes time to master. But with patience and persistence, you may be amazed at the changes you see in your life. So are you ready to unlock your potential for rapid wealth? Are you ready to reprogram your mind for abundance and success? The power is in your hands, or more accurately, in your mind. Start your wealth meditation practice today and take the first step towards the prosperous future you deserve. Remember, you have the power to shape your financial reality. Use Goddard's technique to tap into that power and watch as your world transforms. Here's to your wealth, your success, and your abundant future.